I'm pleased to be joined with Scott Young, who's the planetarium astronomer at the Manitoba Museum. And there's a big day happening on Monday. There's going to be a solar eclipse. So, maybe someone's heard that, but what does that mean? Like, what can people expect to see that day?
Yeah, well, it is the solar eclipse on Monday, and we're really excited about it. It's seen all across North America. Now, the really good view occurs during a very narrow path that goes through the United States and then up across the Great Lakes and into the Maritimes.
Mm.
And in that path, people will see the total solar eclipse, which is one of nature's most amazing spectacles. We don't get that here in Manitoba this time around. We get a partial eclipse, and that's basically where the sun is not completely covered up by the moon. An eclipse happens pretty much when the moon gets in front of the sun and blocks it out. And depending on exactly the circumstances, it can cover up part of the sun, it can cover up the whole sun. And for this time, here in Manitoba, across the province, we'll see about a 60% partial eclipse. What that means is you won't notice anything unless you go looking for it. It's not going to get dark. It's not going to be, the sky's not going to change in any way. You probably won't even notice. But if you want to look at the eclipse, that's where the issues come in, because the sun is just way too bright to look at.
Hmm. So then let's say if somebody's just like they're out during the time, like what time can people expect to see it at the peak, would you say?
Well, yeah, the eclipse begins at 12:54 p.m. on Monday in Winnipeg. It's within a few minutes of that across the province. The peak's around 2 o'clock, and then it ends by 3:08. And during that time, we'll be able to see the sun partially eclipsed by the moon. But you have to have special solar filters or eclipse glasses to be able to see that, because the sun is just too bright to look at any time. And it's just nobody bothers to look at the sun anytime except when there's an eclipse happening, because there's not much really to see. So
Yeah.
we're just trying to make sure people realize you can't look at the eclipse unless you have those special eclipse glasses.
So even if they have like sunglasses or anything, just don't do it. It's not worth
Yeah,
it.
no, sunglasses are no good. I've heard people suggest using DVDs or the foil balloons, those metal shaped balloons. None of that is safe. The only thing that is safe are eclipse glasses, or if you happen to have a number 14 welder's glass, if you're a welder, that is also safe to use. But nothing else is safe. So if you don't have those two things, there's a couple of indirect methods you can use that we have listed on our website, or you can watch it on a live stream, because it's going to be clear somewhere in North America, I'm sure, on Monday.
Mm.
And lots of places will be doing live streams that you'll be able to see it on video.
Okay, so like you said, there's other like indirect methods. So what would those be?
Well, you can make something called a pinhole camera. It's basically just a piece of cardboard with a pinhole in it. And you don't look through the pinhole, you just hold the cardboard up towards the sun, and the light from the sun, hits the cardboard and makes a shadow of the cardboard. But in the middle of that shadow, there will be the tiny pinhole, and that pinhole will take on the shape of the sun. So when the eclipse is happening, you'll actually see a tiny little picture of an eclipse. You can do this with a colander too. If you've got one of those colanders you drain pasta in or something like that, with all those little holes in it. If you
Hmm.
hold that up, each hole will turn into a tiny little eclipse. So that's a neat way to do it. You can also get a bit more sophisticated. You can take a mirror and put a little gap on it and project an image from the mirror, or you can even use a pair of binoculars, again, not looking through them, but using them to project an image of the sun. That takes a bit of preparation. We have sort of a step-by-step guide on the museum's Eclipse website, which is manitobamuseum.ca/eclipse 2024.
Okay, so cool. And back to what you were saying a minute ago about like damaging your eyes. Is it even possible, like, let's say someone's just walking and they're like, oh, like I just want to like look up briefly. Is it like a quick glance? Is that okay? Or is that's
Yeah,
still
no,
not?
no, there's no known safe exposure for looking at the sun. Now, everybody has at some point taken a quick glance at the sun, I'm sure,
Hmm.
and you might not see any damage, but the damage does occur quickly and you don't feel it, and it builds up. So the more you look, the more damage occurs. And of course, when you look at something and it's interesting, you want to look at it again and again.
Yeah.
So we recommend that you don't look at the eclipse at all. But if you're just out and about, going about your day,
Yeah.
Like you don't have to draw the blinds, you don't have to keep your pets inside or anything like that. The pets don't know that there's an eclipse going on, so they just think it's any other day, and they're not gonna worry about it. So as long as you can avoid the temptation of looking at it, you're fine.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those things that if you know you're not supposed to, it just makes you want to kind of do it more, right?
Totally, yeah. It's like don't think of an elephant. Well, our minds are just drawn to those things. Um, that's I think that's why we've seen so much interest in this. We're just getting calls off the hook and emails, and we had eclipse glasses for sale, but they sold out a couple of days ago already. So we have a public event down at Assiniboine Park on Eclipse Day. The Royal Astronomical Society of Canada and the planetarium are bringing out safe solar telescopes and projection equipment and things like that, so people can come down to the Leaf between 12:30 and 3 on Monday and get a view of the eclipse. So even if you don't have anything, you can just come down and join us, and we'll give you the show.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be just a ton of fun just to be with everybody else that's doing it too, and you can kind of all
Yeah,
experience it together, right?
yeah, it is a nice group kind of experience for sure.
Yeah. How often does this happen, would you say?
Well, interesting. Eclipses happen a couple of times a year somewhere in the world, but of
Okay.
course, not always that we can see them. They might happen when it's nighttime for us, or they might just only be visible from the other side of the world or whatever. But we had an eclipse, a partial eclipse here in Manitoba as recently as last October.
Hmm.
We just happened to have two of them within 6 months, sort of coincidentally.
Hmm.
There was another good one in 2017, and the one that a lot of people are hearkening back to is February 26, 1979, when the total path came right over southern Manitoba, right through Winnipeg. And so a lot of people will remember seeing the total solar eclipse in 1979. And this is the first one where the total path comes through Canada, through southern Canada, where most of the people live. Since then, so it's kind of rare, and a lot of people are, because of that, they're traveling to the location where they can see the total solar eclipse.
There you go. Wow. Well, I'm sure it's going to be a ton of fun. It's really exciting to get to experience that. If you can get a chance to go watch it, you said that there's ways to do it at the Leaf. If you don't have the glasses, that you can still do it safely so you can protect your eyes because I'm sure the
Yeah,
temptation, like we said, is just going to be looking up at the sky and then you don't want to damage your eyes any further. So,
yeah,
yes.
that's exactly right.
Yeah. So, anyways, thank you so much for joining us. And yeah, I'm sure this will be a great time.
Yeah, okay, thanks a lot.